Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji. Thank you so much for redialing in into this YouTube channel, wherein we have been focusing on reading this divine book, which is Autobiography of a Yogi. And I am here to act as your facilitator or as your medium, wherein, with Guruji's divine grace, I'm able to continue my journey with you. And in this journey towards Guruji, towards understanding why Guruji told to read this book, and there are various facets that we can actually correlate to why Guruji, in fact, told that you must read this as a Sangat. This book has not just been revealing; it has, also, taken a back to me in on various phases into my own personal life, wherein I was able to correlate that what I did as a Sangat and what I did before I was a Sangat. So Guruji always made sure that he, got me back to the right track, and he made sure that he did have a, a ability to make sure that I understand things in a, subtle, simpler way. And today, when I share my story or my satsang to Guru Sangat, I feel immensely proud of how Guruji has shaped up my own personal journey and my own direction in leading to his Kamal Charan. And today, as I sit at his Kamal Charan, I'm so blessed and so proud to continue this book reading. So I will be proceeding with day number 23, which is also happens to be chapter number 23. And so before we begin, start begin to read this chapter. Let's do a simple mantra jap. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji. Having said that, chapter number 23, I received my university degree. In this, we are going to see that, when you are with the right Guru, the Sadguru, the Param Guru, or the true Guru, okay, even destiny can also be altered, okay. And in this chapter, we are going to see that, even the moons and the stars, they would also combine together to make sure that Guru's commandment or his Adesh is followed in in unity with what the divine cosmic father actually wants. So in this is a clear example of that simpler subtle things do happen, okay. And in every single time of the day, if we keep saying Shukrana to Guruji, that's all he wants from us, just divine love, okay. uh, mm, you ignore your textbook assignments in philosophy. No doubt you are depending on an unlaborious intuition to get you through the examinations. But unless you apply yourself in a more scholarly manner, I shall see to it that you don't pass this course. Professor D.C. Ghoshal of Serampur College was addressing me sternly. If I failed to pass his final written classroom test, I would be ineligible to take the conclusive examinations. These are these are formulated by the faculty of Calcutta University, which numbers Shirampur College among its affiliated branches. A student in Indian universities who is unsuccessful in one subject in the AB finals must be examined anew in all his subjects the following year. My instructors at Serampur College usually treated me with a kindness not untinged by an amused tolerance. Mukunda is a bit overdrunk with religion. Thus, summing me up, they tactfully spared me the embarrassment of answering classroom questions. They trusted the final written test to eliminate me from the list of AB candidates. The judgment passed by my fellow students was expressed in their nickname for me as Mad Monk. I took an ingenious step to nullify Professor Ghosal's treatment to me of failure in philosophy. When the results of the final test were about to be publicly announced, I asked a classmate to accompany me to the professor's study. Come along, I want a witness. I told my companion, I shall be very much disappointed if I have not succeeded in outwitting the instructor. Professor Ghoshal shook his head after I had inquired what rating had he given my paper. You are not among those who have passed, he said in triumph. He hunted through a large pile on his desk. Your paper isn't here at all. You have failed, in any case, though through non appearance at the examination. I chuckled. Sir, I was there. May I look through the stack myself? The professor, nonplussed, gave his permission. I quickly found my paper, where I had carefully omitted any identification mark except my roll call number. Unwarned by the red flag of my name, the instructor had given a high rating to my answers, even though they were embellished by textbook quotations. Seeing through my trick, he now thundered. Sheer brazen luck, he added hopefully. You are sure to fail in the AB finals. For the test in any other subjects, I received some coaching, particularly from my dear friend and cousin Prabhas Chandra Ghosh, son of my uncle Sharda. I staggered painfully but successfully with the lowest possible passing marks through all my final tests. Now, after 4 years of college, I was eligible to sit for the AB examinations. Nevertheless, I hardly expected to fail to avail myself of the privilege. The Serampur College finals were child's play compared to the stiff ones which would be set by Calcutta University for the AB degree. My almost daily visits to Sri Yukteswar had left me little time to enter the college halls, where it was my presence rather than my absence that brought forth ejaculations of amazement from my classmates. My customary routine was to set out on my bicycle about 9:30 in the morning. In one hand, I would carry an offering for my guru, a few flowers from the garden of my Panthi boarding house. Greeting me affably, master would invite me to lunch. I invariably accepted with alacrity, glad to banish the thought of college for the day. After hours with Sri Yukteswar, listening up to his incomparable flow of wisdom, or helping with ashram duties, I would reluctantly depart around midnight for the Panti. Occasionally, I stayed all night with my Guru, so happily engrossed in his conversation that I scarcely noticed when darkness changed into dawn. One night, about 11 o'clock, as I was putting on my shoes in preparation for the ride to the boarding house, Master questioned me gravely. When do your AB examinations start? 5 days hence, sir. I hope you are in readiness for them. Transfixed with alarm, I held one shoe in the air. Sir, I protested. You know how my days have been passed with you rather than with the professors. How can I enact a farce by appearing for those difficult finals? Sri Yukteswar's eyes were turned piercingly on mine. You must appear. His tone was coldly peremptory. We should not give cause for your father and other relatives to criticize your preference for ashram life. Just promise me that you will be present for the examinations, answer them the best you can. Uncontrollable years, Uncontrollable tears were coursing down my face. I felt that Master's command was unreasonable and that his interest was, to say the least, belated. I will appear if you wish it, I said amidst sobs, but no time remains for proper preparation. Under my breath, I muttered, I will fill up the sheets with your teachings in answer to the questions. Okay, I'll repeat this. Okay, I will fill up the sheets with your teachings in answer to the questions. I'll tell you why this line is so important as we go through it. Okay, when I entered the hermitage the following day at my usual hour, I presented my bouquet with a certain mournful solemnity. Sri Yukteswar laughed at my woebegone air. Mukunda, has the Lord ever failed you at an examination or elsewhere? No, sir, I responded warmly. Grateful memories came in a reviving flood. Not laziness, but burning zeal for God has prevented you from seeking college hours. My Guru said kindly. After a silence, he quoted, Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. For the thousandth time, I felt my burdens lifted in Master's presence. When he had finished, our early lunch, he suggested that I return to the Panthi. Does your friend, Dr. Romesh Chandra Dutt, still live in your boarding house? So, as you can see that these are subtle ways that how Guru knows everything. Okay, but the way that he communicates with us, it makes us feel that that he's trying to act childlike, and he's trying to extract information out of you. बट ये उनके कम्युनिकेशन के तरीके होते हैं कि उनको देखना होता है कि आपके भाव कैसे हैं. So, does your friend Romesh Chandra Dutt still live in your boarding house? Yes, sir. Get in touch with him. The Lord will inspire him to help you with the examinations. Very well, sir. But Romesh is unusually busy. He is the honor man in our class and carries a heavier course than the others. Master waved aside my objections. Romesh will find time for you. Now go. I bicycled back to the Panthi. The first person I met in the boarding house compound was the scholarly Romesh. As though his days were quite free, he obligingly agreed to my diffident request. Of course, I am at your service. I spent several hours of that afternoon and of succeeding days in coaching me uh, in my various subjects. I believe many questions in English literature will be centered in the route of Childe Harold, he told me. We must get an atlas at once. I hastened to the back of my uncle's. I hastened to the home of my uncle Sharada and borrowed an atlas. Romesh marked the European map at the places visited by Byron's romantic traveler. A few classmates had gathered around to listen to the tutoring. Romesh is advising you wrongly, one of them commented to me at the end of a session. Usually, only 50% of the questions are about the books, the other half will involve the author's life. When I sat for the examination in literature the following day, my first glance at the questions caused tears of gratitude to pour forth, wetting my paper. The classroom monitor came to my desk and made a sympathetic enquiry. My guru foretold that Ramesh would help me, I explained. Look, the very questions dictated by to be by Ramesh are here on the examination sheet. Fortunately for me, those are very few questions this year on English authors whose lives are wrapped in deep mystery so far I am concerned. My boarding house was in an uproar when I returned. The boys who had been ridiculing Ramesh's method of coaching looked at me in awe, almost deafening me with congratulations. During the week of the examinations, I spent my hours with Ramesh, who formulated questions that he thought were likely to be set by the professors. Day by day, Ramesh's questions appeared in almost the same form on the examination sheets. The news was widely circulated in the college that something resembling a miracle was occurring, and that success seemed probable for the absent minded mad monk. I made no attempt to hide the facts of the case. The local professors were powerless to alter the questions, which had been arranged by Calcutta University. Thinking over the examination in English literature, I realized one morning that I had made a serious error. One section of the questions had been divided into two parts of A or B and C or D. Just a multiple choice questions. Okay. So, similar to that, the question was split into multiple sections. Okay. Instead of answering one question from one part, I had carelessly answered both questions in group 1 and had failed to consider anything in group 2. The best mark I could score in that paper would be 33, 3 less than the passing mark of 36. This is an important part in this chapter. So he scored 36, 33, and he thought that, since the passing mark is 36, he is going to fail it, which is obvious that that's what as humans we would expect, right? कि passing mark नहीं लिया तो pass कैसे हो जाएंगे? So I rushed to the master and poured out my troubles. Sir, I have made an unpardonable blunder. I don't deserve the divine blessings through Ramesh. I am quite unworthy. Cheer up, Mukunda. Shri Yukteswar's tone were light and unconcerned. He pointed to the blue vault of the heavens. It is more possible for the sun and the moon to interchange their positions in space than it is for you to fail in getting your degree. I left the hermitage in a more tranquil mood, though it seemed mathematically inconceivable that I could pass. I looked once or twice apprehensively into the sky. The Lord of Day appeared to be securely anchored in his customary orbit. As I reached the Panti, I overheard a classmate's remark. I have just learnt that this year, for the first time, the required passing mark in English literature has been lowered. I entered the boy's room with such speed that he looked up. In alarm, I questioned him eagerly. Long haired monk, he said laughingly, why this sudden interest in scholastic matters? Why cry in the 11th hour? But it is true that the passing mark has been just lowered to 33 points. A few joyous leaps took me into my own room, where I sank to my knees and praised the mathematical perfections of my divine father. ऐसी चीजें, ऐसी ग्रेस सिर्फ अ, महाशिव ही कर सकते हैं। हमारे गुरुजी ने ऐसे बहुत सारे मिराकुलस चीज़ें करे हैं अपने संगत के लिए। आप अगर आप संगत हैं, किसी नॉन संगत की, उनका भी कल्याण कर देते हैं गुरुजी। तो आई थिंक वी आर ट्रूली ब्लेस्ड कि हमें भी यही सब चीज़ें देखने को मिलती है डे इन डे आउट। Every day I thrilled with the consciousness of a spiritual presence that I clearly felt to be guiding me through Romesh. A significant incident occurred in connection with the examination in Bengali. Romesh, who had touched little on that subject, called me one morning as I was leaving the boarding house on my way to the examination hall. This is Romesh shouting for you, a classmate said to me impatiently. Don't return, we shall be late at the hall. Ignoring the advice, I ran back to the house. The Bengali examination usually easily passed by our Bengali boys, Romesh told me, but I have just had a hunch that this year the professors have planned to massacre the students by asking questions from our ancient literature. My friend then briefly outlined two stories from the life of Vidyasagar, a renowned philanthropist. I thanked Romesh and quickly bicycled to the college hall. The examination sheet in Bengali proved to contain two parts. The first instruction was write two instances of the charities of Vidyasagar. As I transferred to the paper the lore that I had to so recently acquired, I whispered a few words of thanksgiving that I had heeded Romesh's last minute summons. Had I been ignorant of Vidyasagar's benefactions to mankind, including ultimately myself, I could not have passed the Bengali examination. Failing anew in all subjects the following year, such a prospect was understandably abhorrent. The second instruction on the sheet read, this is so important. Write an essay in Bengali on the life of the man who has most inspired you. Gentle reader, okay, this is to us. Gentle reader, I did not inform you what man I choose for the theme. As I covered page after page with praise of my Guru, I smiled to realize that my muttered prediction was coming true. I was, I will fill up sheets with your teachings. So this is what he had. Uh, this is what our Yogananda ji had told Sri Yukteswar when he was asked about the AB examinations. I will fill up the sheets with your teachings. I had not felt inclined to question Romesh about my course in philosophy. Trusting my long training under Sri Yukteswar, I safely disregarded the textbook explanations. The highest mark given to any of my papers was the one in philosophy. My score in all other subjects was just barely within the passing mark. It is a pleasure to record that my unselfish friend Romesh received his highest degree cum laude. Okay. Father was wreathed with in pleasures, in smiles at my graduation. I had hardly thought you would pass, Mukunda, he confessed. You spend so much time with your guru. Master had indeed corrected, correctly detected the unspoken criticism of my father. For years I had been uncertain that I would ever see the day where an AB would follow my name. I seldom used the title without reflecting that it was a divine gift conferred on me for reasons somewhat obscure. Occasionally, I hear college men remark that very little of their crammed knowledge remained with them after graduation. That admission consoles me a bit for my undoubted academic deficiencies. On the day I received my degree from Calcutta University, I knelt at my Guru's feet and thanked him for the blessings flowing from his life into mine. Get up, Mukunda, he said indulgently. The Lord simply found it more convenient to make you a graduate than to rearrange the sun and the moon. So this concludes chapter number 23, and it is of course one of the most simplest ways to understand ki a guru knows everything in and out and knows how to alter your destiny, knows how to rewrite what is already pre-written to be to going to happen. By being in Guruji Sharan, we are so protected that many of the things which are coming in our way are already averted. There are so many satsangs wherein Guruji has told that you sit here and don't go home, and accidents have been avoided. There have been many instances where Guruji has told that don't go to that place and rather go to a different place. It may happen with us for satsangs as well. So that way, when Guruji starts to communicate to you with his telepathy, he starts to connect with you with his divine voice. He starts telling you that मेरे लिए चाय लेके aa and all these things. Okay, that's when you truly realize that you're not really alone. You don't need anybody to live your life peacefully this time around. You just need to be in Guruji Sharan because Guruji is never going to make you feel lonely. So इतना कहते हुए मैं आज का नरेशन यहीं पे पूर्ण विराम देना चाहता हूँ. And I am divinely blessed that I get to read this book, experience the journey with you, and also in this we are also sharing a lot of Guruji's vachans with each other, and this truly motivates that that how Sangat is truly connected to each other. So आप overthinking, stress, depression, anxiety, leave it. Leave everything to Guruji. And trust me, things are going to turn out exactly the way that you may have predicted, and it is going to be a better outcome as compared to what you would have thought that कि मेरे life में ऐसा होना चाहिए. But with Guruji around, your life just flies through. And इतना कहते हुए, I'd like to end today's narration. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji.